is November 15th in Poland in a small farming community near the border with Ukraine. While it is close to Ukraine, it is a long way from the majority of the fighting. The closest Russian forces are in the Kherson region, unless you count any forces stationed to the north in Belarus. Suddenly, the peace was shattered when 2 missiles struck the town, killing 2 people and immediately sending Poland and the rest of NATO into a defensive posture. Poland immediately contacted NATO and proceeded to Article 4, which brings together all NATO nations to consult whenever one of the nations is threatened.
Avengers! Assemble.
As the information was poured over, especially remaining pieces of the missiles in question, it was clear that the missiles were Russian in origin. They were pieces to an S-300 missile. Now, we have talked about the S-300 before on this channel many times. It is a missile that was built by the Soviet Union and first fielded in 1978. It has a range of around 150 kilometers unless it was fired in a ground attack role, which then the notional range is around 400 kilometers. And that poses the problem. Remember how I said that the closest Russian forces are near Kherson? That is well over 600 kilometers away. Even the most optimistic shot in the world wouldn't go that far. So then where did this come from? Maybe from the north from Belarus? I mean, after all, they are well within range of this particular spot in Poland. But that doesn't make much sense. While yes, Russia could be firing at Ukrainian targets from Belarusian territory, the distance from the border is a wide distance. Even the closest point to the border of Ukraine is over 4 kilometers away from the impact point. If these missiles were in the ground attack role, they would have a CEP. Even the worst ballistic missiles in the world have a smaller CEP than 4 kilometers. And these 2 missiles hit fairly close to one another as well. Maybe they were actually targeting Poland? While it is possible, it doesn't make much sense. Belarus and Russia would have nothing to gain from hitting NATO at this point. In fact, tactically and strategically, this spot would have no military value. And there are much better targets even closer to Belarus than this to begin with. So that pretty much rules out Russian or Belarus from being the culprits of an intentional attack. Could this be an air defense missile going off course? Given that a pair of missiles were fired, this is most likely the case, but not from the Russian forces anywhere to the south or east. It is possible from Belarus, but given that most of the Ukrainian aviation would be near Kharkiv or Kherson for close air support and ground strike sorties, this is unlikely. So then where did this missile come from? The short answer? This was most likely a Ukrainian S-300. Ukraine has had S-300 since their days as Ukraine SSR when they were part of the Soviet Union. Even still, at the beginning of the war, foreign nations provided more S-300s to Ukraine. There are even rumors that Ukraine just recently captured an S-300 system from Kherson. And while the system would have been owned by Ukraine or some other client state, the missile still would have all the characteristics of a Russian missile because they are a Russian system. Most likely, 2 S-300s were fired at an airborne target, probably a cruise missile or a drone. The missiles then missed and the self-destruct failed to detonate. The missiles then sailed till their fuel ran out and crashed wherever the arc ended. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with your friends and followers on social media, especially the conspiracy theorists out there. And be sure to hit that like button.